Welcome to another of Drew's book reviews. Today's review is Defenders of Shannara, The High Druid's Blade by Terry Brooks. Great author. Absolutely love him. One of my favorites, actually. So this one, Shannara, absolutely one of my all-time favorite fantasy worlds. I've read all the Shannara books previous to this one by Terry Brooks, and he's by far easily become one of my all-time favorite authors. Now, for those of you that haven't actually taken a look at Shannara or read Shannara at this point, just a brief summary of what Shannara is. So, the world of Shannara, for those that may have never read any of the Shannara books, it's really unique when it comes to the fantasy worlds because it takes place actually in our own world, rather than some fantasy world created by the author on an imaginative universe or planet somewhere else. This world is actually in the far distant future after mankind has destroyed the world as we know it, through war and environmental disasters and all the terrible things that we've been doing to our planet. So the society of man has been scattered and destroyed and loosely brought back together. The world of the elves, dwarves, trolls, etc. Has come out of hiding to protect what is left of the world from the demons and even mankind itself. When the world of technology was destroyed and suffered under nuclear holocausts in the far distant future, the world of magic slowly but surely began to emerge once again. So we've got all these different societies. Mankind is kind of reorganized into this coalition or federation of mankind. They have a prime minister and they've outlawed magic in the world of mankind. And then you've got, of course, the magic users, and the head of the magic users being the Druids who have magic. So obviously practicing magic in the world of man makes it kind of difficult for them to operate. So they have to be outside of the Federation's control. And the Prime Minister's who has power over all the human lands. But despite this, not all of mankind's technology has actually been destroyed. There are what they call airships and smokeless torches, flash ships. While not conventional names, I imagine them to be similar to massive air blimps or large helicopters for the airships, or flashlights as for smokeless torches or flashlights, and these flash ships are like guns. There are airfields or airports as we might think of them. Cars no longer exist as infrastructure between cities is basically non-existent, so transportation is essentially flying everywhere when traveling between cities. Though, of course, the cities themselves still have, conventional roads and things like that. Now, into the story. Paxton Leia owns a small part-time shipping business, which is just enough to cover his family's needs. But he's not content with this life and feels that there must be something more out there for him. While his younger sister, Chris, is 15 years old, she's impulsive, constantly getting into trouble. She makes a bet with Arcanon. He is a cunning sorcerer who wins the bet and kidnaps her and takes her to a place called Dark House in the city of Ereshkigal, which is the capital of the Federation's and mankind's world. On the surface, it seems that she is just kidnapped to pay off a gambling debt, but it's not what Arcanon is really after. Naturally, Paxton goes after his sister and rescues her. He brings a family heirloom with him. This family heirloom is a sword that has been passed down for generations. It seems to be nothing but an old sword. Paxton learns soon enough, however, in his confrontation with Arcanon, that it is in fact possessed of great magical powers, which for the first time comes alive when Paxton finds himself fighting for his and his sister's life. To his credit, he escapes, but not without catching notice of the Ardrise, head of the Fourth Druid Order. Shortly after returning home, Paxton is summoned to Paranor to meet personally with the Ardrise, whose name is Afinclo Ellisdale, regarding his sword and the magic. He is apprenticed at Paranor to become a protector and defender of Druids as they quest to find missing magical artifacts and investigate magical activities throughout the world. Soon enough, the plot to subvert the Druid Order and take control of all magical power in the world is unveiled, with Paxton's sister Chris being held captive and tortured at the heart of it. Each of the individual events and the confrontations in this book that do happen are resolved fairly quickly, however, within a few chapters. Starks, who is a druid, he's paired up with Paxus. They fly around the world in an almost Mulder and Scully fashion, investigating magical events and trying to collect magical artifacts. With each adventure seemingly unconnected, but soon is determined they are connected and linked at the end to reveal all the threads tying them together. This style actually had the result of making this a rather fun read. It's one of the things I actually like about Terry Brooks is that he could put a lot into a single book without the reader feeling like something's been left out or there could have been more done here, more, or that sort of thing. So he's really good at doing that, and something I really appreciate about Terry Brooks and really like. The overall story arc, however, and the ongoing story that does not get resolved to the end is the story of Chris's kidnappers and captors, and the series of tortures and following rescue with recapture again and rescue again. Well, I tend to believe that I can get too emotionally involved in the stories I read, my heart cried out for her, and I even found myself feeling helpless along with her as she was tortured and mutilated. Good writing or forgetting it's not real, maybe both. I don't know. Good writing, regardless. And a good read, just a great read. Really enjoyed it. Terry Brooks is just an amazing author. I've never been disappointed reading one of his books, and this one is no different. Highly recommend anything in the Shannara world. Perhaps starting with the Elfstones of Shannara would be my personal recommendation. While not the first of the books in this world, it's definitely a good place to start, nonetheless. This series particularly, the Defenders of Shannara, does reference some events in the history of Shannara, which you can actually read about in all the previous books and series. So don't miss out. Read them all. Highly recommend it. I definitely give this book 8 out of 10 bookworms. If you love fantasy, this one will not let you down. I promise you that. And coming up shortly and next, we have The Darkling Child, the second book in the Defender of Shannara series. This is going to be a great read. I have a feeling it's going to be awesome, just like the first book. So, really looking forward to getting into that. And just more Terry Brooks. I mean, how can you go wrong with this guy? He's a great author. Just fantastic. So again, don't forget to like and comment below, subscribe, and follow me also online at andrewsbookreviews.wordpress.com. Thanks again for watching. You have yourself a great day.